Welcome back to Mindset Rebooted. I am Sam Hay, and today we are going to be talking about understanding when it's your time to make a transition. When I served the United States Navy, I did serve with a lot of pride, and I had a successful career going, and I was getting ready to be a chief petty officer. I had advanced through the ranks E1 to E6 in 3 years, and then I served for an additional 2.5 years before I ended up transitioning out. Thing is, I was told I was crazy from everyone. Everybody was like, man, like, this is crazy. You already made it to the rank where you can, pretty much coast if you wanted to for the next however many years, and you can retire. And, oh man, like, you're going to keep going forward. If you want to, you could end up being a master chief petty officer of the Navy with how fast you made it through the ranks, or you can even transition to officer. Oh man, the sky's the limit. Like, why would you want to give up all of this and the prestige and blah, 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 right? And so everyone is going to speak to it from what they see, their perspective. But essentially, you have to be strong enough in yourself in terms of knowing when it's time for you to make a change. Now, for me, I didn't just make the transition out of the Navy just for the sake of making the transition out of the Navy. For me, it was in accordance with what I wanted, with my lifestyle, my values. Let's just put it into perspective for you. At the time, and I still am, but where my mind was, I was married, and I still am, to my beautiful wife. And I was thinking, I've already been away from her for 3 years, 3 years overseas in the Middle East. And, marriage is a huge part of who I am. And I was like, man, I can't continue to be away from her. Where I'm getting ready to end up going next is going to be more sea duty, right? And I was going to have to be away for another 2 years if she wasn't there with me. And at the time she was in school, so it just wasn't like going to be cool for me to just pull her from what she was doing. And so, we just had to make things work, and we were doing it long distance. And so I was at the point where, as I was getting ready to transition out, and I was telling everybody, hey, you know what, it's time for me to make that smooth transition. They were like, man, why would you do this to yourself? I was even told by my detailer, and real quick, in case you don't know, a detailer is the person who cuts orders for you to go to your next duty station. I was told by my detailer, hey, like, you're pretty much doing an idiotic move. Why would you do that? Do you understand how many marriages end up in divorce? People do this all the time, man. You need to do this for your career and all this other stuff. Now, here's the thing. There is no right or wrong answer in this situation. It's about what's of most importance to you. Some people, it's their career. That's what they have going on for them, and that's what they choose to esteem above everything else. For other people, it's something else. And for me, I definitely esteem my marriage above my career in the Navy. Reason why is because I'm gonna tell you exactly what a senior chief told me. He said, listen, hey, we're all gonna end up leaving the military at some point, whether it's 4 years or 20 years. But when you leave, you're either gonna come home to someone or you're gonna come home to no one. And that really resonated with me, right? He explained to me his experience where he wanted to be with his daughter, and how he had lacked a relationship with her because of how he chose his career, and how things were set up between him and his ex and his daughter and all that stuff. And so he had missed out on what was important to him, and he didn't want to see me make the same mistake. And I wasn't going to make the same mistake. I was very confident in who I was and who I am. And that's because I had also prepared myself to either stay in or transition. I think that that's one of the biggest things when we transition is a lot of times we will either have fear of transitioning or not have fear of transitioning based on how prepped we are. For me, I was prepped. I had took the advice of another chief who said, hey, work as though you're staying in, but prep yourself as though you're getting out tomorrow. And so I straddled that fence of doing both. I strove for greatness. I've received many awards. I was building my resume while I was in. I got a lot of certifications. I got my associate's degree while I was in, and I was just hard charging. I was getting ranked as an early promote sailor almost every single year. And so everything was gravy for either if I stayed in or if I got out. And so that's the reason why I had no fear. And so all it came down to was me just choosing based on my values. That's what it came down to. And what I valued and what I still value is my marriage. And I had to do the exact same thing later on as I transitioned out and I ended up jumping into construction management. The whole point is that no matter what level you're at, always make the decision based on what's best for you, your values, your moral compass, all of that good stuff, because no one else can live life for you. You have to live life for you. It's that simple. So don't be afraid of the transition. Don't allow for other voices to influence you. Just make sure that whatever it is that you do, however it is that you are transitioning right now in life, it is in accordance with what is best for you. That's all I got for today. If you got great value out of this episode, make sure you subscribe to this podcast and share it with someone else. My name is Sam Hay, and until next time, Mindset Rebooted. Sometimes when things go wrong, you can't blame life, cause when you shot your shot, what was your aim like? What were you targeting? Cause if it ain't right, and you still go with it, then that is on you.